this morning I have a Marshall Valvestate VS100 head, and it likes to make some noise. Pretty sure it's a bad ground, but we'll see. We'll have to open it up. But yeah, not something I typically work on. Usually I'm working on much older amplifiers, stuff with point-to-point wiring, things like that, but we'll see how this goes.
So, as a quick history lesson here, Marshall started making Valvestate amplifiers in the early 90s after the success of the JCM 800 and 900. Today we call these hybrid amps because they use a hybrid of tubes and solid-state electronics. This one in particular has a single 12AX7, and then the rest of the amp is solid state. So I don't think I've ever found a problem so quickly in my entire career. There's a consistent tone coming through the speaker with nothing plugged in. It sounds awful. Whenever I open an amp up, I do a visual inspection to see if there's anything obvious, and then I take, something non-conductive, in this case a chopstick, and I poke at things, just to see if something's loose, and I really hope that came through on the audio. Soon as I touch this capacitor, that noise cuts out, and I plugged in a guitar and carefully strummed it, and everything works fine. So it might be that it's just loose, especially because I was just able to poke it. But this entire, I'm not going to do it, but this entire side of the board, I don't know if you can hear that just came back in. It wiggles too much. They didn't put enough support underneath here, in my opinion. It just wobbles, so I can see how these got loose over time. But I'm going to err on the side of caution and recommend that these caps get replaced. I don't see any signs that they're bulging or anything, but I just don't like this, so I'd rather replace them with ones that I know are good to go, brand new. That way, if the noise persists, I know that something further down the line is causing it. But as of right now, the culprit is the filter cap, specifically this one. So yeah, that was fast. All right, so I finally got a delivery for some parts that I've been waiting on, particularly this Marshall Valvestate. These two caps have to go here, but first I need to remove this entire board. I'm replacing those caps with these guys. That's really about it, so let's get started here. So here I am removing the board that has most of the components for the power section. It is very tedious, and there are some parts that are really hard to get to, but I was able to get it out fairly easily. It wasn't as bad as some of the other things that I've encountered. So here I am removing the old capacitors, desoldering the leads that went to them and connected them to the board. You have to be really careful when you're working on a board like this, because you can accidentally lift one of the traces, causing a short or just breaking the circuit in general. So now I'm installing the new capacitors. I always make sure to leave a little bit of wiggle room, because if those capacitors should ever move, they could break at the solder joints or break off at the leads. This just prevents that from happening, hopefully. All set with the capacitor replacement. The two new ones went in flawlessly. I didn't see anything else wrong on the underside of the board, so let's see if we get any crazy noise. Nothing. Dead silent. So let's see here. Let's go strum this. Yeah, I'd say that's working. Let's see here. overdrive. Cool. Yeah, looks like everything's working well, so I just got to do a couple things to make sure the board's secured and everything's, taken care of properly, and then get this back in the enclosure, and should be all done. So the new caps went in pretty easily. I'm happy about that, and it seems like it's all good. So I just got to secure the board to the chassis now, put it back in the enclosure, and we should be all set. I'm really happy that this one wasn't crazier than I hoped it would be. Now it's just a matter of putting everything back to the way it was, securing the board, retesting everything to make sure nothing's wrong, and then putting it back in the enclosure. You see me here putting a little bit of hot glue on those capacitors, and that's just to also prevent them from moving around. So that gap that I left, as well as the hot glue, should eliminate any future issues. And of course, you gotta love when the chassis doesn't fight you going back into the enclosure. Obviously, I'm reconnecting the reverb tank and securing the chassis to the enclosure itself, and then we're all good. It should be good to play. Sadly, I didn't get a chance to record the amplifier after everything was said and done, but the customer was very satisfied, and that's always what I want to accomplish, really. Thank you for watching my video. If you could please like, share, and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. And if you live in the southern Wisconsin or northern Illinois areas, feel free to contact me for a quote on guitar or amplifier repair. Thanks. This has been Mike Ballinger with Ballinger Amplification. I hope you have a good rest of your day.